How we doing, everybody? Welcome to the Mash and Drum Whiskey Room. I am Jason C, and if you're a subscriber, always glad to see you back here again. If it's your first time here, you're looking for the latest in whiskey and bourbon news and reviews, you have found the right place. So think about hitting that subscribe button below and hit that bell notification so you know when I'm putting out a new video. So today we are reviewing a really cool bourbon. This is one of my favorite releases that come out each year. This is the Blood Oath Pact No. 5, the 2019 release from Lux Row Distillers. Let's get into it. So guys, a little bit about Blood Oath. Blood Oath was created by a guy named John Remp. He is the creator of Blood Oath and has been developing and blending spirits and beverages for more than 20 years. He's a certified food scientist, received his bachelor's degree in biology from St. Louis University. He then spent some time developing carbonated soft drinks and fruit drinks and creating new beverages before he moved on to Luxco, where he is now. Now, he brought his objective approach and really good palate to Luxco more than 17 years ago and has since overseen the development and creation of a bunch of their products, including Pearl Vodka, Rebel Yell, and of course the Blood Oath series, which started in 2015 with Pact 1. Each release has a different twist and has some pretty hardcore followers. So according to the website, John's goal is to seek out bourbons that are rare, wonderful, famous, and forgotten, then bottle them in combinations previously unimagined for a lucky few. He has sworn to never reveal where he finds his bourbons for Blood Oath, but only to promise to choose and make the best he knows. Alright, so that brings us to today's exciting review for Blood Oath Pact 5. This bottling highlights a high-rye, 8-year-old bourbon which aged in dark Caribbean rum barrels for 6 months. Now that bourbon is then blended with 2 other bourbons, an 11-year-old wheated bourbon and a 13-year-old high-rye bourbon. Alright guys, so here's a close-up of Blood Oath Pact 5. Plans call for about 15,000 cases to be released. Each bottle is topped with this custom natural cork and sealed and hand-labeled with a certificate-style paper stock, which is kind of cool. It comes housed in a fire-branded wooden display box like previous releases, only this is the lightest wood I think they've used, and I think it looks really nice with the fire branding. It really sticks out. This is bottled at 49.3% ABV. This is the 5th release in the series, which first launched in 2015, and is available now with an MSRP around $100. So let's get a pour. Here's the cool custom cork. Very cool shape, but kind of nice. Let's get a pour here. All right. Let's get into Blood Oath Pact 5. All right, so as you can see, like most of my newer reviews, I've taken a couple pours from this bottle already. I want to see if the flavors remain consistent for this review. I was a big fan of Pact 4 last year, which had some of those higher aged bourbons, but aged in toasted bourbon barrels. Really thought it had a really nice flavor profile to it. Now, finished whiskeys are a big trend, especially in rum these days. So it'll be interesting to see how the flavor profile kind of works through sip to sip. So let's go into the color first. And right here, as you can see, we have a really nice deep honey color, some amber to it. It's got some good legs. It's sticking to the glass pretty nicely, but you could tell there's some higher aged bourbons in here. It's got a really nice color to it, very enticing. So let's go to the nose. Here we go. Wow, so some of the first impressions I was getting of this was my first pour was super sweet. I was getting a lot of dark brown sugars, probably from that rum finish. But now in the next couple pours, I'm getting all dark fruits. I'm getting blackberries, blueberries. I'm getting some really nice fruit characteristics in here. Getting a lot of orange zest in here too from those high-rye bourbons. There's definitely a good punch of orange in here. Yeah, as you get deeper into the nose here, those rum characteristics come through. A lot of dark brown sugars, a lot of sweetness on the nose, almost like candy. But you kind of venture deep down in the glass, then you start getting some really nice bourbon flavors in there. That orange zest is really punching through, like I said, with the higher rye. It's got some really nice vanilla, caramel, and oak flavors coming through as well from those higher aged bourbons. Yeah, it's interesting how the sweetness now has become a little bit more rounded out. It was all sugar when I first opened it. Now you're getting some dark fruits in there. You're getting some hints of that vanilla, the caramel from the bourbon influence. a really beautiful nose on it. It's very enticing, really well done. It's not overpoweringly sweet in my opinion. So let's see how it is on the palate. Let's go for the first sip. Here we go. Cheers, everybody. Very good flavor. A lot of flavor right up front. Very sweet. Not overly sweet though. You're getting some of that bourbon influence. You're definitely getting some of that rum characteristic too. But I feel like already in the first sip, it's a pretty good balance. Let's go in for that second sip. Here we go. Cheers. Wow, the second sip was really good. The first sip, right in the front of the palate, you get a lot of that rum sweetness, I think. It really kind of hits you right in the front of the palate. Then as it works its way back, it really has a nice mouthfeel to it for being under 100 proof. Really, it's kind of sticking around a little bit. The back of the palate, you're getting a nice hint of a dark chocolate note on there too, and definitely some orange zest still from that high-rye bourbon. Let's go in for another sip here. All right, so the third sip now, you're starting to feel a little bit more of the finish now. The finish is making itself a little bit more to be known here. You're getting some of that spice. It's lingering around a little bit, more in that orange zesty type of flavor profile. A little bit of a black pepper sticking around on the palate. But all that sweetness from the rum, the dark brown sugars, the caramels, the vanillas, all really kind of mingling together really nicely to kind of really coat the palate. Let's go for another sip. Here we go. See, on that sip now, I got more bourbon flavor than rum. It kind of, I think as your palate gets used to this bourbon, as you keep sipping on it, the rum is starting to take a little bit of a back seat, and some of those more bourbon notes and the higher rye bourbon that's in here is starting to take over a little bit. There's more orange zest, there's a little bit more of a honey characteristic, more vanilla, more caramel. But those dark brown sugars, that dark chocolate note, is kind of starting to take a little bit more of a back seat. And now you're getting a little bit more of a traditional bourbon flavor in there. Let's go in for one last sip here. Cheers. Yeah, so that sip was very balanced, I gotta say. That one came in sweet. Definitely the rum characteristic right up front. As it works its way back, you're getting more traditional bourbon characteristics. Ending with that dark chocolate, a little bit of an orange zest. There's some dark brown sugars kind of lingering around from the rum, I think, too. And then the finish it's not gonna overwhelm you at all. I would say it's a medium finish. It's not really too long. It's perfect for easy sipping. And if you really like rum, I think this is a really beautiful blend of rum and bourbon together. I don't feel like the rum is overpowering the bourbon at all. I feel like it's just kind of kissing the bourbon enough to give it that really nice balanced flavor profile. All right, guys, so Blood Oath Pact 5. I'm really enjoying this bourbon. I think it's really good. I think it's one of the better finished bourbons I've had recently. I think the higher age definitely helps it because rum, I think, could be a little bit overpowering when you're finishing a whiskey, especially a young bourbon in rum. The rum can really overpower it, really kind of make it a little bit too sweet. Bourbon's already inherently sweet enough, so you add some rum to it and those dark brown sugar characteristics, it could get oversweet. I think the age of the bourbon of this and the higher rye really plays well because you're getting sweetness, but you're also getting some spice in there. So that sweet spice really work well together to really bring you a really nice experience. All right, guys, so like I mentioned, this bottle is about $100. For me personally, I would like to see this bottle come down maybe 20 to 30 bucks. I think at like $70, $75, this would be a really good buy. I realize you're paying for, the box a little bit. It has a really beautiful packaging that it comes in, but it's 98.6 proof. I would think if it was over 100 proof, maybe I could justify paying that much for it. But I will say Blood Oath enthusiasts are really going to love this bottle. It's a really nice blend. It's got that rum characteristic. You could taste the bourbon. It's not a overpowering rum characteristic. There's some really nice flavors in there. It's fruity, it's sweet, but the high rye, I think, was the key because the high rye bourbon influence in there gave it some spice to go along with that sweet. So if you're a Blood Oath enthusiast, I think you're really going to love this bottle, and you probably, if not, have already picked it up. If you're not into finished or sweeter whiskeys that are kind of lower proof, I would probably pass on this one. But if you really love rum and you really are into some finished whiskeys, then this is an absolute must try, and if not, a must pick up. All right, guys. Well, thanks again for watching the Mash and Drum Whiskey Room for this review of Blood Oath Pact 5. Hope you enjoyed it. If you haven't yet, hit the subscribe button below. Please hit that like button. If you haven't yet, please find me on Instagram and also find me on Twitter. Let me know if you've had this. Let me know what you think of it. And like I always say, it is not about the whiskey. It is about the people you share it with. So I'm going to have some more Blood Oath, and I'll see you next time. Take care, everybody.